From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Daryl Clark. Sarah Dubowski has the evening off. Our top story, the spring revenue forecast was delivered early this year by the Alaska Revenue Commissioner Randy Hoffbeck. Jamie Schwartzwald has more.
This year, because there was a fairly substantial movement in the price of oil since the fall forecast, we thought it was important to get the numbers out early.
State Revenue Commissioner Randy Hoffbeck today forecast another $300 million drop in state revenue for the current year and a $600 million fall off for 2017. The fall forecast anticipated $50 a barrel oil. That price dropped into the $25 range earlier this year and has hovered between $30 and $40 a barrel since. The spring 2016 revenue update anticipates that to continue over the next 15 months. The drop in price revises the last estimate from the Revenue Department and put general fund unrestricted revenues down 17% at $1.3 billion this year and $1.2 billion next year. That's down from the previous $1.8 billion forecast for 2017. Alaska Governor Bill Walker says the state needs to get away from relying on the volatility of oil.
You know, we have this black cloud of uncertainty over us that is that doesn't need to be there. And that impacts our bond rating. That impacts our ability to invest and participate and build a gas line. It impacts everything we want to do in the future of this state is impacted by the uncertainty.
State lawmakers say they have anticipated the bleaker forecast.
It's not encouraging, but I don't think, I think we've been prepared for that kind of result for the spring forecast.
Senator Machicki says the House and Senate have passed budgets earlier than any legislature since statehood. Budget bills will be finalized through conference committee between the two bodies. Lawmakers have now turned the focus to revenue. The governor has forwarded several proposals that include using permanent fund earnings and a statewide income tax to generate state dollars. Senate majority members favor looking at the state's sovereign wealth as opposed to a statewide income tax.
We're going to take up some of these revenue measures, especially around the permanent fund first. We've never given an indication that we thought we would get to the broad-based taxes.
Governor Walker wants the tax legislation on the table and vowed today to call legislators into a special session if it does not make it there in the remaining 27 days of the regular session.
I would. It's important that we have legislation passed this session or a special session to make sure that we have taken away the uncertainty.
I think that it would be a mistake to put us into a special session just for the tax issues. I just think that would be a mistake.
Jamie Schwartzwald reporting.
The economy is going to take a bad.
As the state tries to find ways to cut the budget deficit, today's oil prices are up from last week. As Monty Bowen reports, that can be a double-edged sword for Alaska drivers.
An oil price increase is good for Alaska's economy and could help with the revenue shortfall the state is seeing right now. The downside for states like Alaska is gas prices usually reflect the price of oil.
You have the same dichotomy that many other energy-producing states like Texas, Louisiana, North Dakota. People outside of those states don't fully understand that rising crude oil prices can be very beneficial.
Alaska gas prices have risen 6 cents in the past week. That follows the usual trend.
What's accelerating it is the fact that the benchmark crude in the United States is selling at 60% higher than where it was just a month ago.
That's the West Texas Intermediate crude, which went from $26 a barrel on February 11th to over $41 today. Even with the rise in prices, the motoring public is still saving a considerable amount.
We're still looking at prices that are overall, the national average is 44 cents less than where it was a year ago at this time, and that's the silver lining for consumers. In Alaska, for instance, where the statewide average has risen to $2.15 a gallon, that's still significantly below where you were just a year ago at almost $2.90. You were at $2.89 a gallon just a year ago.
The average price in Fairbanks right now is about $2.28 a gallon. This is Monty Bowen reporting.
When we come back, at one time it looked like Joel's Place might have to close, but now it's running strong with great programs. Also Saturday night, the Clippers were busy cutting hair for a good cause. We'll tell you how the St. Baldrick's fundraiser went. Stay with us. And welcome back. The Fairbanks North Star Borough could secure a $5 million award for reducing energy consumption by 12% next year. However, the municipality will need the help of residents to achieve that goal. Now, the borough is one of 50 semifinalists participating in the Georgetown University Energy Prize competition. If Fairbanks wins, the borough will win a $5 million community grand prize. 12 organizations and businesses are partnering with the borough to help meet its goal, including the Golden Valley Electric Association, the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and the Alaska Center for Energy and Power. The competition officially comes to an end this December. Program manager Nalima Halavared says borough residents can help in the competition by participating online using GVEA's Watts On initiative, which formally tracks electric usage for use in the competition.
That way we can keep a track of how much energy is being saved collectively. And also, once you participate on that, it gives you ways to save energy. You can go and look for different ways to save energy and try to save as much energy as possible.
Over 60 people shaved their heads bald on Saturday to raise money for the fight against childhood cancer. They call it St. Baldrick's Day. The Farthest North Fraternal Order of Leatherhead Society, made a conglomerate of interior firefighters, hosts the local St. Baldrick's Day fundraiser annually. However, the group was only able to meet just under 2/3 of its $30,000 donation goal. The proceeds raised will go to the National St. Baldrick's Foundation, which takes in donations for childhood cancer research grants. Coordinator Tim Monikin says over the past 12 years, Fairbanks residents have donated more than $350,000 to the foundation.
Raised between $18,000 and $19,000. We've had better years for sure in the past, and hopefully we'll have better years in the future. But it was still a good year. It's $18,000 that wouldn't have been raised otherwise, and all it is a bunch of local people getting together and shaving their heads. It's a pretty fun event. We have a good time doing it.
Joel's Place, the youth center that has served the community for over a decade, recently began a new after-school program that they hope will bring stability to their budget concerns. After closing their doors on December 19th, Linda Setterberg came up with a proposal to start the after-school program called Raw Joy for younger children aged 5 to 12. Joel's Place also received considerable financial assistance from the Fairbanks community, and the organization was able to reopen on January 29th. Joel's Place's manager, Eric Setterberg, says even though the new program will help alleviate some of the financial concerns, the community's fundraising was a large factor in their decision to reopen.
And it's really because the community came together and decided, no, we need Joel's Place. And, you know, and it's every day when we go to the post office and get our donations, we know that we're doing the right thing because we have support from so many different people in the community. We know that we're supposed to be here, and we are so happy to be here and provide this facility so that other people can get involved and express themselves in a way that normally they wouldn't be able to in the wintertime.
Joe Cook is next with a weekend recap, and he'll have Open North results and more after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here with the weekend recap in local sports. One family ruled the trails and one musher made a fantastic return to sprint mushing on the final day of the GCI Open North American Championships. Sunday was the last and longest day of the races at the Jeff Studdert Race Grounds. Mushers went out in reverse order on a 28-mile course with warmer temps. The first 2 days were 20 miles each. Buddy Streeper made his move into the front on Saturday, and he wins back-to-back ONAC titles and his 4th overall. Streeper had the fastest time on Saturday and Sunday to win it. His time on Sunday was 96.17 for a 3-day total of 227 minutes, 9.7 seconds. His wife, Alina, placed 3rd, but she was bested by just 1.9 seconds after being out of competitive mushing for 20 years. Roxy Wright claimed 2nd place over Alina Streeper. It was an exciting finish as the top 3 celebrate with the Governor's Cup at the awards ceremony, but he is now the 4th driver to win 4 or more ONAC titles.
We're happy. It was a phenomenal race season. I've been undefeated for over a year. This team's went 1st and 2nd in several huge events and throughout Canada and the lower 48, and we're real proud to be here.
I gave
all these young new mushers an opportunity to race me, and because a lot of them, you know, were just little kids when I retired.
Roxy and Bud beating me, that feels really good to have them beating me. I beat the other one. That's awesome. It's a great feeling.
And here's the final top 10. Buddy Streeper, Roxy Wright, and then Lena Streeper are the top 3. Rod Peebles and Salsa's Jason Dunlap complete the top 5. Mark Hardum, he placed 6th. Marvin Cochrane of North Pole, he finished 7th. Tommy Bird, Nikki Sale, also out of Salsa, and Tanaz John Earhart make up the top 10. And if Game 1 of the Knights and Ice Dogs series was an indicator, the Ice Dogs were in for a fight on Saturday night after losing 3-4 to the Knights out of Wilkes-Barre Scranton on Friday night. Fairbanks set the tone the first period with an early goal from Clay Cross, but the Dogs, they were down 2-1 going into the third period after 2 goals from the Knights. Fairbanks scored 1 power play goal all weekend, and it was critical. Reggie Lutz, his power play goal in the third period was the equalizer that would send this game into overtime. The hero for Fairbanks was none other than Tyler Tomberlin. He scored the game winner just 1 minute and 15 into overtime off of a Todd Burgess and Jacob Schreisberg pass. The Ice Dogs, they bounce back and win 3-2 in OT for the series split.
I saw Todd with the puck and I knew he can make a play anywhere. So I found some free ice and I took off and he hit me with a nice pass. And all I did was fake a little move and then put it right between the legs.
Yeah, we didn't really have our legs under us the first couple periods there. And Stu came in after the second, really got us fired up. So get us ready for the third. So we were buzzing after that.
You know, this might be considered the dog days of the hockey season, but we're still playing for something. We have to realize that and be better next weekend, starting with Friday night.
The 1A and 2A state basketball finals were on Saturday. The women's basketball team will be getting a real gem, the UAF team. UAF commit Kylie Wallace, the 2A player of the year, had a game-high 16 points and 13 rebounds to lead Petersburg to a 2A state title, 43-34 over Bristol Bay, so I know UAF is loving that. Unalaska won the 2A boys championship, 49-39 over Petersburg. And in the 1A final, Scanman Bay girls, they defeated the defending champion Wainwright Huskies 66-43. Nilachik, the 1A boys champions, they were victorious over Nikolai Vesk in a close one, 41-37. And the Nenana Lady Lynx, they defeated Point Hope 48-38 to clinch third place in the 2A girls state tourney. It's a Monday, so that means we have another installment of the I-5 Interior Top 5 plays. Check them out.
Lots of Ice Dogs in this I-5, and at number 5, Clay Cross threads the needle to Tyler Tomberlin, who finishes strong. That goal came in a 3-4 loss to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights on Friday. Number 4, Terrell Jumby of the Campus Nates has moves on top of moves to create space for the J. That was part of a key second-half run as the Nates win the NABT title over B Royal. Number 3, check this out. This time, Tomberlin finds Cross with an in-between the skates pass through a defender, and Cross scores. That came in the Ice Dogs 3-2 overtime win over the Knights in Game 2 on Saturday. And at number 2, the game winner from that game came from Mr. TNT, Tyler Tomberlin. Todd Burgess' pass is right on target, and Tomberlin ends the game with a nifty move for the score. Fairbanks wins 3-2 in OT and split with the Knights on Saturday. At number 1, she can bake apple pies and mush dogs. 67-year-old Roxy Wright of Fairbanks places second in the GCI Open North American Championship by 1.9 seconds over Lena Streeper on Sunday with a time of 229.31.3. It was Wright's first competitive race in 20 years. Not bad for a great grandma. To vote for the play of the week, click on your favorite play on the I-5 poll on webcenter11.com. You can also comment on the KTVF Facebook and YouTube post and at KTVF11 Sports on Twitter for your vote. The play of the week will be revealed this Friday.
The I-5 Sports Report is brought to you by Adient Orthopedic Physical Therapy.
And that's it for sports tonight. Thanks for watching. Mike Schultz is next with weather, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back in. Mike Schultz with you once again, taking a look at the weather, and it was a tale of 2 days of different weather. Saturday, it was just really miserable. It was cold wind and everything, but yesterday recovered nicely, and today was a gorgeous day, and we're looking at that to continue. Now, what we're going to talk about tonight in the weather is basically another beautiful evening in store for all of us here. On tomorrow, just as warm as was today, and the outlook is no rain or snow in the future. That's good news. And as far as what's going on numbers, here's 38 degrees for a high day, 36 currently. The overnight low 20 degrees, record high 56 in 1915, 37 below in 1918. Your sunrise and sunset, not quite 12 and a half hours of daylight, a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. All the moisture is moving off to the west, away from the Fairbanks area. This little curly, some mid-level clouds curling up over here, and that's about it. And some rain over southeast Alaska. Now the big picture again is showing some showers around the Ketchikan area. Not too bad at Anchorage, or Juneau, I should say, 48. At Anchorage, 47 degrees after they had snow through the weekend, warming things up very nicely there. Kodiak, 43 showers. Showers at Cold Bay, 31. Up and down the west coast, it's even not too uncomfortable. 29 degrees at Bethel, 25 at Nome, 0 at Barrow, and Fort Yukon, cloudy skies in 21. Lower 48 weather, a new storm system moving on shore, bringing with it quite a bit of rain all the way down into southern, or I should say central California. And that's about it. It may work its way down to Southern California. The Central Plains are looking pretty good. Over the eastern half of the country, skies are clearing out very nicely there. That frontal boundary that moved through and brought the snow for the last couple of days over the northeast is moving out of the picture. The jet stream expected to remain well to the north, which means warmer temperatures and dry conditions over a large portion of the country, just the rain over the Pacific Northwest. Time once again for our kids' weather, and we're back with the kids, and tonight we're going to be talking with the kids from Northern Lights Academy and a young man who had a close call with a winter storm.
My name is Matthew and I attend Northern Lights Academy, and this is my weather story. After a huge windstorm, me and my family were coming back from a restaurant and saw that my sister's car had been crushed by a huge spruce tree that was teeter-tottering over our fence. So the people trying to move the tree off the car had a really hard time because they didn't want to bust down our fence.
All right, no harm done. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. And tomorrow night, another young man will be here with a really cool painting that he did. You won't want to miss that one. All right, here's what's going on as far as tomorrow's forecast. Flurries expected at Barrow. Cloudy skies in Nome. Partly cloudy skies for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, it looks pretty darn nice. Just scattered clouds at Fairbanks. Mostly sunny skies in Delta Junction and Healy. Over southeast Alaska, we're looking at cloudy skies at Juneau. A few rain showers likely in the Ketchikan region. Over to the southwest part of the state, snow showers for Cold Bay, rain likely for Kodiak. Freezing rain is possible in the Bethel area. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, partly cloudy skies at Anchorage, rain showers in Homer, and rain and snow for Valdez. And our forecast for the remainder of the night looks pretty good. A very pleasant evening with scattered clouds, 15 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, another great day with just a few clouds here and there, 37 degrees. And the extended forecast, look at those temperatures rising to 40 degrees by Thursday. Also, overnight lows will be once again very comfortable in the teens above, and no precipitation in the forecast whatsoever. Our photograph tonight, this one sent in by Kayla Whitley, who's able to capture some calves there with her mama, and that's mom and the kids. And again, as always, if you have a photograph to share, send it to photos@ktvf11.com.
What is the plural for moose? Meese?
Moose.
Meesai.
Just moose.
Just mooses?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, Lester Holt has an interesting story about, of course, the Cuba visit with the president and the Cuban leader there. You don't want to miss that.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
Now, unfortunately, we have to end the newscast on a sad note. Larry Rohde, a lifelong broadcaster in radio and TV, passed away this weekend. Larry joined the KTVF family in 1989 and will be remembered as one of the best voices in Fairbanks, lending his talent to thousands of commercials and station promos. And old-timers will remember his voice as an announcer for the Gold Panther baseball team, Yukon 800 races, and the Open North American sled dog races. Larry was a great guy and a friend to everyone here at KTVF, and he will be greatly missed.